Shake Table Lab by Andrew Salzman and Sebastian Schipka. This is our tower, and it shows 4 countries. We thought it would be cool to add these countries because we thought it would show cultural competence. The one on the front is Italy, another is Japan, another is Germany, and another is Israel. On the first day, this is the model we came up with. It was 18 centimeters because Mr. Closet required it to be 18 centimeters on the bottom and 36 centimeters to the top. We thought this was great because it was really easy to make, and it was just fun to make a diagram, and I felt like I was a real pro at building. This is another sketch we did by hand. Before Sebastian and I learned how to use Sketch, we drew it out how we want it to look. When I saw this model, I knew that this is the one. When Sebastian and I were building the support on the wall, we were having trouble with keeping the supports from becoming flimsy, but in the end, it turned out great. At this point in building, we were halfway done. We just finished the first 2 floors, and we're starting the triangle roof. This was our 4th building stage. Well, at this stage, my partner and I were starting to make a triangle structure for the roof. It was very challenging and took a couple strenuous hours. These are the measurements of the sides of the tower. 18 centimeters on the length of the first floor, 18 on the next. From one side to the other, the width was 9 centimeters. On the first try, the tower didn't collapse with the weights on it. The tower didn't collapse because the paper kept the floors straight and sturdy. When my partner and I were making the triangle roof, it didn't work because it was too flimsy. The way we fixed it was we added lots of tape on the flimsy joints, and it made it more stable without having to waste plenty of straws on that one spot. The strongest parts on the tower were at the very bottom, where they held the whole tower up. The way my partner and I fixed it to make it very strong was by doubling the usage of tape on the straws. Our weakest parts were the starts of the triangle roof and cross supports. They were the weakest parts because they were getting a lot of weight put on them, and we didn't know how to fix it because we didn't have enough straws to make it stronger. Overall, my partner and I used a ton of tape, but it worked out in the end. Where I used the most tape is on the joints where the most pressure was, and it turned out to be the strongest parts. The only extra supplies we had were the colored construction paper for the floors and for the roof. It was good support to hold up the weights. This was very thrilling. I was very nervous, but in the end it was great. This was my first video with 2 sandbags on each story.
This is a minor earthquake.
Oh my god, it's so scary.
Guys, don't touch.
Oh crap, Sebastian.
I know.
Stop!
At this point, I was proud. But this is the video of my fail, as you can see. It was very sad, though.
Harvard University is going to look at my shape too. What?
The x-axis, which is green in this picture, represents up and down. The y-axis, which is orange, represents front to back. The x-axis represents side-to-side motion. There have been a lot of questions about how many sandbags did your tower support. I'm here to answer that question. My tower supported 10 sandbags. Another question I've heard is, Where did your tower fail and why? My tower failed on the end joints. They failed on the end joints because there weren't enough straws and I taped incorrectly. The way I could have made my tower better was by putting a straw, like 2 or 3 straws per story in the middle, so it could have held at the top a little better and it could have lasted a little longer. What I've learned about building is that you cannot be an inch off, centimeter off, because it'll cost you. Some people had to find out the hard way. So in the real life, you'd have to tear it down and restart. So I'm glad I didn't have to learn it that way. What I really enjoyed was my partner Sebastian. He was really fun and he made great contributions to the group. I liked working with him because we worked as a great team. And also, I wish I could have another project with him because he was great. I also like being like my dad because he's a developer and this was really fun doing his job. I saw how stressful it was and it was a challenge and I met the challenge. Thank you for listening.
A lot of people have asked how many sandbags my tower has held. My tower has held about 10 sandbags, which is 2,500 grams. My building failed on the left corner here, as you can hopefully see if you're not blind. And so it failed because it came out of the ground and collapsed. Our building failed on the left corner. It failed because we just didn't add enough tape to secure it down, and that made me really sad. I could have made my tower stronger by adding cross supports right in the top so it evens out the weight of the sandbags. There was a lot of weight, and that's the reason why our tower collapsed. Things that I enjoyed about building this tower was the hands-on with learning and about science, and also another thing that I enjoyed was my partner Andrew Salzman. He was very fun and he was a very enjoyable partner to work with.